This is something I would never ever normally do, but I want to do it for their memory and also to raise awareness about how real and serious this is, because, you know, they're not just a statistic anymore. It is heartbreaking for all our family.
And nobody's able to do the natural things they'd want to reach out and do.
That everyone just, we're all just in our houses, you know, it's hard enough losing both your parents, especially so close together. But then you can't do the normal process and you can't, you know, so yeah, it is very, very hard.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
One of the hardest, cruelest parts of all this is burying the dead, and the fact that social distancing rules mean hardly anyone can attend a funeral now. Maybe 10 people at most, all 2 metres apart. Cremations are closed to the public. Only a small number of mourners are allowed at graveside burials. Some funerals are now being streamed online.
Even in the face of death, life will triumph. And you know, that is the hope of the world. That's the hope of the Christian faith. Let's look up together collectively and see the hope that is on the horizon, and then let's move forwards together to reach it, because that is possible. You know, so much is possible together. How incredible that somebody's job description can just be bring hope. So we run a kind of food bank, soup kitchen, for want of a better word, each week at church, and we would regularly welcome in 120, 150 different people. Church would be full. Everyone would be eating at least 2 courses together. I'd be wandering around finding out what do you need, and some of the days of the week would be spent driving around the town, meeting all of the needs that had been identified at the kitchen each week. So that was probably the most tangible way that we were sharing hope.
The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for decades, and this country is not alone. All over the world, we're seeing the devastating impact of this invisible killer. From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
The pandemic of coronavirus claims more lives around the world. The people of the United Kingdom are now being advised to make drastic changes to their day-to-day existence. Prime Minister Boris Johnson rejected criticism.
There was a real heightened level of anxiety. I think that is still the case for some people. I think the prevailing thing was isolation, loneliness. Humans are made to be in community, you know, we need each other. I remember walking the dog on the hour exercise we were allowed and not seeing a single person. I remember walking down the middle of my street, there were no cars. It was like a ghost town. I think hope is all that we've got left in a situation where there's so much despair. You know, hope is what we long for, what we believe will come. So, you know, it's not exclusive to the Christian faith at all. It is the message of the faith, but it's also hope is the human capacity to get through the most difficult things.
Home rejoicing once again into our doors. The Lord be with you. Lift up your hearts. Let us give thanks to the Lord our God, for it is right to give thanks and praise. Blessed are you, Lord God, our light and our salvation. To you be glory and praise forever.
Hi friends, morning. So I've just jumped on the page because today is the first time in the history of St Aidan's Kitchen since the 31st of August 2017 that we haven't been open. But do not hear the words shut. We're not shut. We're just serving outside. If you can get down and need to get down, then make it your essential trip out today. Okay, take care. Take care, stay safe, lots of love, bye.
Transitioning services to online was immediate. At the beginning, when we were in total lockdown, we were streaming services 3 times a day, every day. Yeah, we weren't seeing anyone face to face, but we were building a sort of online congregation, and that congregation is now pretty well established. And we assumed on the Tuesday that the kitchen wouldn't be able to run, but actually there hasn't been a week where it hasn't been open. And at the peak, I would say there was about 200 people that were in the line, just trying to keep them socially distanced around the back of church, all the way down the street. But church was closed, the building was closed. So when you can't be in your church building, it's a challenge.
Good morning. How are you?
All kinds of people who had never had anything to do with church were finding real comfort from church services. So I think at the beginning of lockdown, the church had something like 300 people on its Facebook page. And now we're nearly at 1,000. So, needed to kind of build up that online presence so that more people could find us there. Nothing is better than face-to-face interaction. But yeah, we did and have adapted and are continuing to do so. But nothing makes up for that. Like doing funeral visits over FaceTime or over the phone, it's no good. Like, it's just no good.
Good morning. So church is filling up, so I'm doing a very special welcome just for you who are at home. And I hope you feel as much part of this as these people who are the other side of the camera. So welcome. I'm terrified. I've never been so scared of a church service since my first Mass. But, we'll be fine.
It's hard to remember, isn't it? Like, it's hard to remember what normal was like. Services back in church are a really interesting thing because people have to wear masks and they have to sit socially distanced. There is something wonderful about being back together, even though we're distanced, even though we can't sing, even though we can't share the wine, we can only share the bread, even though people have to be scooted out of church quickly at the end of the service. There is still something precious about being back together, because there has been incredible acts of generosity and kindness and goodness and hope. We just need to get all of these things working together so that the earth is okay and humanity is okay. How amazing would that be? That to me sounds like the new heaven and the new earth.
Is just tighten up what we had already in place. So we were tier 4 before it was even called. So just please do follow the instructions of either of our church wardens, and we will keep you safe.